Entrevistas Alfa.
Hola, yo soy Cristina Tenorio de Alfa 91.3 y estamos con alguien que claro que quiero hacer una buena presentación porque dice así: Ever since he was a young boy running through grass, he was a dreamer, writing stories down the back of the class. Now he sits in his piano with his heart in his hands. Dermot Kennedy.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
Good.
I'm very
Really
happy
good.
to be talking to you. You were in Coyoacán 2 hours ago?
Oh, yeah, about 2 hours. Yeah, playing some songs for people. Yeah, it was lovely. We played I think I played about 5 or 6 songs. It was very hot. I can't last.
Your
So.
first show in Mexico?
Literally, yeah. And I love to do it that way, Like to really, because as your career grows and as you kind of do more stuff, like so often now, if I play a show, there could be 10,000 people there, but I can't see anybody, you know what I mean? And so I love doing things like today where you can actually connect with people, yeah.
So it's like more personal and
Totally.
When you're around 1,000 people and now with masks, it's like really hard to read people, right?
Oh yeah. Or even sometimes, even when there's no mask, like you can look out into the crowd and like you're working so hard on stage and trying so hard and blah. And sometimes like I'll lock eyes with somebody and they'll just be yawning and it was like no,
No, please.
Yeah.
It's the lack of oxygen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now that I was giving the introduction about you being a young boy, I know that your first show was Westlife.
Yes, when I was a kid, yeah, my sister was a big fan.
Yeah,
so I had to go.
Your sister.
Yeah.
But when was the time like you said like, oh my God, this is amazing, this artist, and I want to do the same thing as he or she?
Yeah, so do you know an artist called Glenn Hansard from Ireland?
No.
Like guy with red hair. He that doesn't help. He won an Oscar for a song years ago. He was in a movie called Once, and he's a very sort of important Irish musician. I used to go see him anytime I could, and yeah, it was just, like, I remember being in the crowd and seeing someone, like, put his guitar out, and, like, just how excited I'd be that was his guitar, and then all the different things that the show's about to happen, and even nowadays, like, when I play a show, I'll walk around the venue just to see it, and you kind of, to know that people will come along and feel that way about my show is crazy to me. So yeah, I think his shows were the first time I was kind of like, this is definitely something I want to be able to do. Yeah.
And you've been like in a long personal career, like in the streets busking. We're going to talk about that later. But first I want to talk about Sonder.
Sure.
I mean, the definition, you can give it or I can give it.
No, I give it. Yeah, it's basically just the awareness that all of us, everyone I saw today playing in the street, everybody I will see in the next few years, everybody you see at all lives a life as important and as complex as your own. And I love that because I think in music, you're kind of, there's this, you feel like you have to only think about yourself all the time or something. And it's always like about my career and what am I doing and my goals and my achievements and pictures of my own face and stuff, it's so sort of like self-centered, and so I love the idea of thinking about everybody else, and just to know that, like, I feel like this album is special and exciting because it takes me to a place where when we go on tour with this album, it's just a shared experience, It's like I might be at the middle of it playing the songs, but like it's still just a shared experience between people, and I like that a lot.
How was the first time you heard this weird word that is?
Yeah, a long time ago, a few years ago, and then I don't know, like going to second album, you're trying to figure out something that is just so important to you because I know it's gonna define my life for the next few years. I know it's gonna that'll be the kind of person I am for the next few years, and Without Fear kind of came to me easily because it was my first album. There was a lot of things about it that just clicked into place. But with second album, you have to find it. And there was nothing that really was kind of really meant that much to me. And then Sonder just felt like the perfect kind of thing. I think the way my career is gone is this lovely thing where, I don't know, it feels very organic and it feels very natural. And so I'm excited for this word and this kind of story to take place. Yeah,
I didn't know what the word meant, so
right.
I went and looked for it, like I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
and then it just hit me like, yeah, this is true, like everybody, we have shared experience.
Totally.
No one is more important than other.
Yeah.
Every pain, every situation is as important as you should be, have a lot of empathy.
Totally.
So I also read an interview about John Koenig, the author of The Worth.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. So he said, Language can crystallize things, something that felt like a cloud, and let you hold it in your hand. It's a beautiful thing. So for this new album, Sonder, which are the lyrics you feel the most proud of?
Well, I think I got his book and the Diary of Obscure Sorrows, and it's all kind of these words that he's kind of coined, which is beautiful. But lyrics, yeah, because I was trying to find a title for the album within the lyrics, and there's a song in the album called Innocence and Sadness, and that's what I was going to call the album, because this song feels very important, and it feels like it kind of defines where I am now as a person, and not even that it's like a complete lyric, but that, like, Innocence and Sadness, I think that's very important to me on this album. I think the type of person I am, like those lyrics from Dreamer, I think the type of person I am, I'm always trying to hold on to that wonder I had as a kid, you know? I'm always trying to see the world that way. And then I think it's interesting as you grow up, it feels like that's kind of like always gets away from you. You have to pull it back, especially as a songwriter. It's like, I don't know, like life as you get older, it's so serious and there's more responsibility and all that kind of stuff. So you're always kind of hoping for that. So Innocence and Sadness is like my favorite thing from the album.
I can wait to hear it.
Yeah.
Have you sing it live?
Sorry?
Have you already?
Not yet.
Okay, not live.
But the way we did it was the very last song I finished for the album.
Okay.
And I was in New York and the album had to be done by like 3:00 that day. And so I was in a studio with a piano. And we went to like do piano and vocals separately, the way every artist in history does, and it just kept losing its feeling, you know. As soon as it was like to a grid and we were trying to do it properly, it just lost some kind of magic. And so the recording on the album is just me playing it at the piano, just a live recording, which is fun. We didn't change it, we didn't do anything to it, and if it's not perfect, I like that, you know. It feels good. It's just a live performance, and I love having that in the album. And it feels nice because that last day in New York, it was just like I have an hour to sing this song a bunch of times, and one of them has to be good enough for the album, otherwise it doesn't exist. So that was good.
So this was the last. Thank you for your time, Dermot Kennedy, here in Alfa 91.3, donde todo nace.
Entrevistas Alfa.